You're now listening to episode 71 of Signed In, an Xbox 360 podcast, recorded on June 12th, 2011. Find us online at signedinpodcast.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to Signed In. I am Jeremy Superfro33.
I'm Craig Profdresser.
And I'm Sean Shonix.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What is up? What is up with Microsoft? They're trying to kill me on this show.
What's up with that?
There's no XBLA for 2 weeks. That's my bread and butter right there.
What are they doing to you?
I don't know. I think they're trying to push me out of the show.
They are. They're trying to wedge you in. They've heard that. Actually, we did get an email
From
Microsoft, and they said
From Bill Gates.
yeah, it went to the top. He's like, I normally don't deal with this Xbox shit, but
let's work at this.
just want to let you know what we're doing. But no, there's been no XBLA. What's that all about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There hasn't even been any statement as to why, has there?
Not that I have heard. I don't know if they're just saving it all up for Summer of Arcade, but that's
I don't
kind
know.
of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there was at least one game that was supposed to be out and it was delayed, and that was supposed to be last week's.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't hear
I hadn't
if
heard about that.
it wasn't until the day of, the Wednesday, that they announced, it's not coming out.
Oh, really?
So that doesn't sound good. I don't know if that interrupted 2 weeks worth of stuff. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe they've got some PSN problems and they're trying to hide it.
Oh, but only in arcade.
Only in arcade, that's true. I guess everything else is
Everything else is perfectly fine, but they have a security breach in arcade.
Look, if you don't think I have good ideas, there's probably nicer ways to tell me. You have to discount everything I say.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway.
I apologize.
But we
It would have got lost on the dashboard of all the E3 stuff, so they didn't want to have any games
see.
show up because they
I don't know,
wouldn't
they're-
be able to promote it.
They were promoting those Fancy Pants adventures
Yeah.
pretty hard.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, they're like, hey, no, there's no XBLA, but we got this game.
well, I have been playing games. You still play games?
I played a few games, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I checked out Red Faction Armageddon.
Awesome.
Not only checked it out, I completed it. So I have a pretty full list of everything
You were
I
half
can talk
asleep
about.
half the time, though. But
Half the time. Half asleep.
so that's 1/4 sleep.
I played that. I played a little bit of Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters, and
Wow.
a couple of XBLA games that are old that I'll revisit maybe real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's about it for me.
No indie from you?
I do have...
Did you have the update for Techno Kitten Adventure, exclamation point?
The only thing that's on my list is Techno Kitten Adventure, exclamation point.
TK,
And I will tell you
The
what...
exclamation point is the addition, correct?
It was no. There is so much added to this game.
No,
I can't wait to
that's
talk
what
about
I mean.
it.
But I mean, for
That's
the
the only
title.
change. Yeah,
For the title.
Only
yes.
change to the title is the exclamation point.
Okay, I thought
and it's
that was-
deserved.
I didn't play the first one, but I did try out this one. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's
Spoiler.
It's something.
It is something. I can't wait to talk about it. And I can't believe nobody told me about it before. I finally saw it last night. It was just a couple
It
days
only
ago.
came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, no, but I saw it last night and I was like, "Are you shitting me?"
I figured you'd find
That cover is
the
awesome.
cover was really cool.
The cover's amazing.
I'll give him that.
But enough about me.
Yeah.
I've got a small collection of indie games to talk about, and then no XBLA, but a couple demos. I played El Shaddai, The Rise of the Metatron, and Dungeon Siege 3.
Nice. I didn't check that out.
Yeah,
That's good. I want to
You
hear
should.
about it. Well, good. Spoiler.
do it now. No, I mean right now.
All right, I'll go try
We'll
it.
talk
Sweet.
amongst ourselves.
We got stuff to talk about.
What you got, Sean?
I've got a couple indie games. Like TKA is one of them. I knew someone would talk about it.
Abbreviate it.
That's the way it is on the
TKA.
TKA. But I didn't like it, but someone does like it, and I'll talk about that.
I love it.
Finally finished
think I
Russian
know that's
Attack. Finally.
Nice. Oh,
wow.
So that was nice. That's probably all I'm going to say about it. Gatling Gear's got a little bit of that. Did we talk about Gatling Gear's last episode?
We've talked about Gatling Gears, I think, the
know.
last 4 shows.
But-
we're going to continue with this one because that's one I have as well.
But we got to play it, and I did play some Green Lantern, and I did finish it. So
Nice.
that's what game kept me going. This week.
Nice.
Yeah, it kept me from playing. I did rent Red Faction, but did not play it.
Oh, good to hear.
But I did play Green Lantern.
Thanks for supporting.
I guess I should say I have been playing some You Don't Know Jack, and then I restarted Red Dead Redemption finally.
Awesome.
Nice.
After a year.
A year. We'll get to that private chat eventually.
11 months after my last save file.
Yikes.
Well, I don't own
Better
the game,
late,
so-
better late than never.
Yes.
I will say.
It'd be awesome if he was all like sitting by the wayside, all like decrepit, and he needed to shave.
Oh yeah,
all
if you
the-
turn it on
Yeah.
and he was like, it's like skin and bones.
Like what, Animal Crossing. Time continues to pass while you're gone.
And Mr. Rossetti jumps up and is like, "What are you doing?" And there's wolves
The
everywhere.
ranch is all collapsed.
That'd be a fun
Folded.
game.
No, it wouldn't. If it was like you had to
Cattle
manage,
carcasses.
I would like a game
pull
like
weeds.
that. No, see, that's when you just have
Yeah,
to,
but if you could add Kappa into there, I don't know.
There you
He'd
go.
sing you songs while they ferry you along.
Or the dog.
Video game mashups here.
The dog. I can't remember what the hell
Red Dead Animal Crossing.
What the hell is the dog's name? Why can't I remember the dog's name?
TK
Scoots.
Slider.
TK Slider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Teamwork there. Tag team.
I'm glad we were nailing the important issues at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Video game mashups. Yeah.
Oh, and then also on top of these games, E3 happened.
Yes, it did.
Last week.
Oh, yeah.
And so we'll probably have some things to chime in at the end of our game talk about some stuff we saw from there.
Yeah.
Anything that we wanted to take away from there or talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But let's talk about games for now.
Sounds good.
Indie.
Indie. I'll start it off with Shape Shop from Hooplehead & Co.
Hooplehead.
Yes, and it sells for 80 points.
Hooplehead.
I've got a couple very simple games, but very well designed games, and this is one of them. So this is basically, you know, those puzzle games that you would get like in as a kid, like maybe in school or whatever, where you'd have the different shapes and you'd have to arrange the different shapes to create a bigger shape or whatever. Yeah. That's essentially what this game is, except it's in the idea that you're in this factory and you're producing things, and so you get like this mold and you have a bunch of different shapes, and they're all basically, if you consider like a one square, they're all basically 5 squares arranged into different shapes. And so then you have to, you know, fit them within there, within the little mold, and then like this big press comes out and presses it, and then it gives you a new shape to try and build. And so, you know, it's a fun little casual puzzle game. There's no music to it, but the pieces themselves have little chime noises as you're picking them up, so that might be one decision why they didn't go with the and then when you finish it out, it plays the 3 chimes or 4 chimes or whatever, and you know, they become more and more they use more and more pieces in order to complete it. And yeah, it's fun if you fondly remember putting those puzzle things together. That's a good game. I could see this being a very fun game for kids as well. And you know, it's very no nonsense. There's not really like a menu. You just kind of go straight into it. You can have 3 different save files on there. That's not something
nice.
you see it on all indie games. So you know, if you do get it for the family, everybody can have their own thing. And there's like 111 puzzles or something,
that's
and
cool.
it keeps track of like how long it took you to complete the puzzle. So you know, if you want to go back and go for a better time, you can do that as well. But for 80 points, it's a lot of fun, very casual, and it's got like all these rusty gears, you know, rotating in the back. It's got like this great factory feel, and then when the press comes out, it's like, you know, keep hands away or something, and it's got like a picture of like a hand getting smashed in gears or whatever on it. Yeah, very nice. Very,
Something
very
for
nice.
all the hoopleheads.
Yes, exactly. The next one I want to talk about is Bunker Buster from Magico Gaming, whom you may remember from Platformance Castle Pain.
Yes.
And this is 80 points. Bunker Buster is, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's an arcade game, and basically you pilot ships. You pilot planes and you try and drop bombs on enemy forces, on enemy units, on enemy bunkers, stuff like that. But sometimes the bunkers are buried under the ground, so you have to basically blow stuff up off of it first. And the way it works is that, you know, you have a screen, and then your plane automatically keeps going forward, and so go across one side of the screen, and then it'll come come back on that side of the screen. It keeps going back and forth, and you have a certain amount of fuel, so you can only go back and forth so many times, and you have a certain amount of bombs. So, and the fewer bombs you use, it's all calculated into like a point total at the end. And it's done with like a really fun sort of classic arcade sort of look to it, and really great music. And so with the controls, like your left trigger is what controls your altitude, and so you'll sink to gravity if you don't pull it down. You have to lift yourself up every once in a while, and then your right trigger is for dropping the bombs. And the demo's really nice because they jump you around through the levels a little bit.
That's nice.
So you start off on the first level so you can get a feel for it, and then I think you go to the second level, but then you jump to like level 11 and then like level 25 or something like that. And they can become pretty challenging. The last level that I was playing was in a cave, so there was a ceiling above you, and so you couldn't go too high in your altitude, and so you had to basically dig into a deeper cave where a bunch of tanks were hiding, and then fly into that cave and then bomb those things. So it adds
multiple levels.
Yeah, it's got a level of complexity to it, and a really nice presentation. And then it's got a bunch of awards and then sort of anti-awards as well. So if you fuck up stuff, then it keeps track of that.
Very cool. That's cool. That's cool.
I like the way they keep track of lives. So you have stars like a military ranking, and so every time you complete a level, you gain a star, you gain a life, and so you can go up in ranking from rookie to whatever. But then as you die, then you lose your stars down as well. And so once you die, you can continue playing basically until you lose all of your lives.
Gotcha.
But very simple again, but a lot of fun and a really nice presentation for it as well.
Cool. What do you got, Sean? Anything?
I'll try.
Do you want to keep going?
I'll try to pronounce the one that I played. Esoterica America.
Esoterica America. I did play this actually a little bit.
Sells for 240 points from V7 Entertainment Inc. It's got a Sims vibe, total Sims vibe. A lot of dialogue being spoken, but I think what I want to talk about in this is that was you're walking through after you wake up from this weird dream about the stars being the source of all life, essentially, or being whatever.
Wow, it's very esoteric.
It's inspired by alternative religions, and things like that.
But there's a video game that you can find called Buffalo Soldier, and you're essentially this.
Seriously,
you're this dude hanging out on a total hippie van, and you're in a pot field, and you're shooting helicopters and planes as they pass by, and
Feds.
Fed helicopters, and
aliens,
then it's like a dust cropper.
Yeah. Crop duster.
A crop duster. I spent more time playing that where you get no points.
Unfortunately, I did too. Yeah.
No, nothing. But I spent more time doing that. And then
it took a while to figure it out too, because you have your two joysticks, and so you have two guns.
Yeah.
And you can link them up. I figured out, and that made it easier.
But I mean, I sat there playing that game, and then I got back to the other, and I ran out of time, and I was listening to the dialogue because it's great because you can sit there and have the game still play out, but. You can't do anything
behind the purchase or exit screen.
So I was just like listening to it.
The cutscene will continue.
So I was just like listening to it, and it went on for a while before I stopped it. And but no, it's
very heady.
And is it all audio too? I mean, they have like recorded
they have recorded voices.
Nice.
Yeah, the little kid's a little weird sounding. Hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
It was really weird,
modulated
but definitely check out the Buffalo Soldier game though. It's a free trial. That's the only reason because it just seems a little wordy and kind of I wasn't into the big Sims games like walking, define.
It's not really Sims though. It's kind of
let's
more
turn
like
to Craig.
Point and click adventure.
Right. Let's turn to Craig and actually get what this game's about.
Oh, shut up!
I didn't get much further either. Well, and besides Buffalo Soldier, it also talks a lot, and so you don't get very far in the demo, or at least I didn't. But yeah, it's very heady, and I don't know. The screenshots looked kind of interesting. It's kind of that. I don't know, 3/4 perspective or whatever, and open rooms, and you can see where you're going, and
I think that's probably where the Sim stuff is coming from. The look is probably
just in case anybody didn't know what we meant by Sim stuff. Yeah, no,
But
but very different.
Well, I know. I
didn't
read
really plan on talking about it because I didn't really know what to say about it.
I took a look at I saw the screenshots for it, and I saw the description and everything, and I know it was dealing with a lot of like secret societies and like Illuminati kind of stuff, and you're kind of going on this mystery where you're trying to solve something or find out about your father or something like that.
Yeah, your dad.
And it looked like way weird.
It was. Well, I love how, because like your father tells you this story, and then your mother comes into play, and she's just so against what your father was. It's so really weird.
Yeah, there's a crystal ball sitting on your dining room table.
And you're not supposed to touch it. Not
your
at
dad's
all.
crystal ball.
Don't touch it.
Okay.
No, forget about that. Forget
Sounds
about
good.
that.
But I was just walking around looking at posters and things like that.
And it's your birthday too.
It's your birthday. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
It's a hard game to describe.
Yeah, it is.
8 minutes is not really enough to understand this game. I'm not sure finishing the game would be enough to understand it, really. Although that may be its strength.
Well, let me tell you something.
Hey, you guys are the Deadly Premonition guys.
Exactly.
So.
That's what I was thinking of when I was playing it.
I'm going to check it out now. I'm in. Let me tell you what you only need 20 seconds to understand. And that is Techno Kitten Adventure.
That's about all you
point.
get.
Oh.
That's all you need to understand what is going on.
That is true.
Here's the thing. That first game, when last year when I talked about it was half a joke.
Right.
But there was something that wouldn't let me stop playing that game. And it's that music, and it's that it's fucking balls out crazy.
Yes.
And that it's just nuts.
Yeah.
And so there was something that was funny about it the whole time.
Yeah.
This one is even better.
Because they took the joke and ran with
They
it.
took the joke and like beat you in the face with it. It's so awesome. I love it.
There's like more kittens now.
There is. There's 3 different levels you can play. And then there's 3 different tracks now. So before there was just the one track.
Right. Music track, yeah.
That you'll maybe remember that we used as our theme song
yeah.
one week. Which this should have been the return of our kick-ass new theme.
It's still in my head today.
I know, it won't go away.
No, it won't.
That's the other beauty part of it, is that it burrows in and it
Like
just will not go away.
Celine Dion
It's an
singing
earworm.
some weird
No.
rave hit.
So it's 3 different stages now. There's 3 different cats per stage that operate. You know, they don't operate any different, I don't believe, but they have different like costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 different tracks for each of the, or there's 1 different track for each of the different scenes.
Yeah,
that you can
so
play.
kind of like Hurdle Turtle
Yeah, exactly.
in that sort of sense, yeah.
I loved it, and now they have leaderboards. I don't think they had that before.
Okay.
They threw in a thing because it didn't get crazy enough before. Now I think that they added in that vibrate option, or not option, but there's vibration in the controller.
Oh, okay.
And so now when it's in the like really thumping parts and like the stuff in the background is throbbing out, it also is shaking your controller the entire time, just in case you could concentrate too much before. They also want to take you off that.
Now,
my hand was vibrating after it stopped because it goes on so long.
Did the game actually interact with the song like it does in exclamation point in the first one? Oh, okay.
Like where they add in the things that are being said in the song, or like it's it totally
Like
went
the
along
hand
with it.
comes out of the ceiling
touching the
or
sky?
whatever. Yeah, touching the sky.
Yeah, that was all in the first one too. It is amped up more for this one because there's a narwhal with a rainbow horn that I saw. And I know at one point if you're playing this other cat, like these butterfly things are all like sucking into the cat, so they even confuse you even more. The thing is awesome.
It just took me a second to figure out what I needed to dodge because there's so much shit there on the screen.
What you really,
Isn't it like the cloud thing?
Just,
Is that what it is?
It's just those
That's what you have to
outline.
It's the outline of the star outlines.
The stars.
And I will say this,
because I was trying to dodge everything, and then I was like, I can pass by this cloud. Bam.
don't think for a second that I'm like taking this as a serious like game. I mean, I had fun with it, and I get addicted to keep playing it because there is something about the nature of it never ending, and it just restarts instantly when you die, and going as far as you can, and it totally sucks me in, and I end up just like wasting minutes, multiple minutes at a time with it. Yeah. But I don't think this is like, I'm not saying it's
your
new,
indie game of the year.
Exactly, it is my indie game of the year
for you.
But I think it controls even better than the first one. Like I think they tightened up some of the like the floating.
I felt like they
mechanics
did.
of
I
it.
felt like they did
Because I went a lot longer.
I took one for the team and played it for the show.
Took one for the team
because I knew it was going to be
You're welcome.
discussed. Hey, thank you. But But what I got to say is that I can't erase it from my hard drive now because Summertime wants to play it.
That's right.
It's off work tonight.
Because it's awesome.
Because she saw me playing it. She's like, that game looks awesome. It sounds awesome. I'm like, I hate it. She's like, I can't wait to play it. And so now it's stuck there. So who knows?
If she needs the track, let me know. I got it.
I think she'll
Because I had to buy it to use on our show.
she'll work out to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would probably. Yeah, she would.
18 minutes
running for
whatever
years
it is
on that thing.
Well, speaking of some
200, just to say, it's 240 points.
That's
the
right.
first one
I
was
wanted to say
80,
that,
so
yeah.
it did go up in price. But
all that work, man.
There's 3 tracks now instead of 1 music track, so you got to pay. It's equivalent.
That's understandable.
21 Street Games. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't even mention the people.
Everybody remembers.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
Yes.
Speaking of music, I'll talk a little bit about Insanity X from Aether Byte, another 80-point game, and also very bare bones, but a lot of fun, actually. Did you get a chance to play this?
I did check it out. I really like the music.
Yes.
Since you were saying, by the way, for music, I love the music in it.
Yeah, because you go in and you start. There's not really a menu, but
there's not really anything.
Yeah, you press start and you can choose between playing the synth version of the music or the chiptune music of the version of the music, and basically it's not a twin stick shooter, but it's kind of You're a dude running around these rooms filled with robots, and you're trying to survive and escape. And if you kill all the robots, you get bonus points. And don't run into the walls because they'll kill you.
Was that Berserker Lurker game? Is that Berserker game?
Yeah,
it's like Berserker.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't like that about it, is that hitting the walls
really
killed you, because I thought that moving around was too fluid, that I would hit the walls. If it was more
it is
tight,
a little loose. Yeah.
If it was more restrictive in how you could move, like you could only move down and over, like you couldn't go at angles, that would be a little better for me. But I was just floating around sometimes, and I would cut the corners, and I would hit the wall, and I'd die instantly.
Yeah, I had to learn very quickly to only really move in short sort of bursts for a lot of things, unless I'm gunning for the exit. But did you make it to the shooting robots?
Yes.
Then it gets really crazy.
Yeah, and luckily you can shoot their bullets too, so you can stop that. But I also
my plan most of the time was, though, shoot my way out and run like hell.
Exactly. And my other issue was, you couldn't really shoot in a direction until you moved that way.
Right.
You couldn't stay stationary and shoot in a direction. Because you had to move to direct what direction you wanted to
once
shoot
you
the bullet
had
in.
moved, you could
Would it
shoot.
go?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could shoot. Yeah,
maybe that. Well, yeah, but changing direction. So, if I moved over to a guy and to shoot down, if I was above him, I would have to actually move down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
So then, judging your distance, I don't know, it just felt like a little contained or too constricted.
Yeah,
to move around and shoot. I mean, that's sure the idea.
Yeah, that's the challenge there. Yeah, and so it's a challenging game.
It is. Yeah,
I don't make it very far in the game, to be.
But the music's
honest.
awesome.
Yeah, and I like the design, the look design, even like that opening picture, and then the picture when you have game over with your skull sitting there smoking. So
it's very old school look to it.
Yeah, very very bare bones, but I think it's done pretty well. And then the last game I have, also speaking of music, The Great Paper Adventure from Valrion. This one's 240 points, and unlike Papercraft, there's been a lot of paper-based games or whatever. It's not exactly like Papercraft where the stuff's made out of paper or whatever. It's all hand-drawn sort of sprites and things like that. And it's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. And basically, there's not a lot of story to it, but you're just this dude in this ship, and you're flying along, and you start off by shooting a bunch of cows, and then things get really insane, and it's got a great chiptune track to whole soundtrack to it that apparently you can download for free or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that on the credits
website.
of it.
Yeah, and
we'll put a link to that in the show
did you play
notes.
this, or
I did? I checked it out. There were some that I played that I wasn't necessarily going to talk about unless you guys did.
Yeah,
because I did have some issues with this gameplay as well. But the music I thought was awesome.
What was the issue that you had with the gameplay?
I didn't like that you couldn't shoot behind you. So there was a lot of times where you got trapped because it is a side-scrolling shooter, and so enemies would come in from above. They would come in from all different angles.
Yeah,
and including the behind you.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it was a wave that I couldn't even escape.
Really? I thought you could always. I always was able to escape them.
There was one that was, and I don't know how
punching bags?
The punching bags that were
you can get over the top of them.
Really? Because that's where I went, and it killed me.
Yeah, no, I get over the top of them every time.
I tried to shoot a bomb, because you do have bombs you can use, and they will explode everything that's on the screen.
Right.
So I thought maybe that.
But it has to run into something before it explodes, yeah.
Well, it will explode on the end of the screen.
Yeah, that's what I
did have that.
Yeah, either a character or...
And I think that's what I did. I shot it, and it didn't hit the end of the screen before it hit me. So I was screwed.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you can get around them, because yeah, that posed a challenge. I only had like sometimes the bazooka launching Mexicans, I guess.
Yeah, they got sombreros on.
Yeah, coming in from behind, and he shot me really quickly because I was too close to that side of the screen, and I didn't have time to react. But pretty crazy, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and the music was definitely really cool.
I love the music.
Yeah, so. That one's 240 points, worth checking out. I guess it's also available on PC for those of you who would rather play something like that on PC.
There you go.
It was a PC game first. But
this isn't a PC Gamer podcast.
I know. That's why I shouted it out special.
You gave a shout out to your PC peeps.
That's right.
PC peeps.
Yeah.
PC peeps.
I give them shout outs all the time.
I get in trouble for that.
Is that it for indie?
Yeah, let's talk about some XBLA. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Wait, some old XBLA?
Yeah. You guys had some old stuff to talk about.
I touched back on Russian Attack.
Yes.
And because I forgot I hadn't even played that game out. And I enjoyed it. I mean,
Didn't the nostalgia start to wear thin a little bit?
It really picked up, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because landmines started showing up, because that was missing from the game. Because those always drove me nuts in the original game. So they showed up.
So you're like, why am I not being driven nuts?
Yeah. And it was like the end. It had a very like it was classic. It was a classic video game.
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
and I think that's what I took away from it and really enjoyed. It just had that classic, feel, the old Nintendo feel, and so that was all right.
I was just all right.
I know. I had high hopes for the game, and it just it didn't.
I only played the demo that I remember. What little I remember of it, but I enjoyed what I was playing.
Yeah.
I just didn't go through with the full purchase because I have so many other things I haven't finished.
Yeah, it's just the same. The levels are almost kind of the same over and over and over again, kind of thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not too bad.
One of the other ones that I have that I still never finished was Magic the Gathering Duel of the Planeswalkers, which I've been playing a tons of.
Oh, yeah?
Because they have the new game, the 2012 edition, coming out this next week, if they're going to still do XBLA games.
For 2012?
Yeah, I think that's the date that's on it.
Weird.
Because because it's the deck that'll run through 2012.
Oh, okay. So it's like Cars.
It's like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's how they operate. So,
like Cars.
yes.
Can you buy it used?
Yes, you can probably.
What's the blue book value on Planeswalkers?
So that's coming out, and so I was like, oh yeah, I remember Magic was awesome on here. I have that. I bought it. So I went back and looked at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And I had only gone through and completed 50% because as you went through the game, you would unlock new cards for the decks by beating players, and there was 17 cards you could unlock for each deck, and I was only 50% done.
Magic.
So I went through
Yu-Gi-Oh! The Gathering.
I went through and did all of the decks now, so I got all of them taken care of, and I had a blast with it, and I'm looking forward to the next game.
Awesome.
I'm sure. I hope that there's some little more fine tuning in the next game as far as specifying how you can build your deck.
What would be on the Super Fro wish list?
Specifying your deck, building your deck.
Yeah.
As it is right now, you have preset decks, and with the older game, and you get those 17 unlocks, and you can remove or add any of those unlock cards.
I see.
But you can't alter any of the standard 50-some cards that are in the deck.
So if you want to add cards, you have to go over 60?
Correct.
Oh, that is crappy.
So if you want to put all 17 in, you have a 70-some card deck.
Oh, that's lame.
I know, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But you still have your 4 other things you don't want. For each of these 8 things you don't want.
Yeah.
So I hope, and I heard that maybe that's supposed to be in the next one. That would be nice if you could, alter your deck or build it. I know.
I'm surprised they didn't go with the micro purchase route.
I agree with you.
Selling packs and
I am too.
Stuff like that.
I am too. That you can't build a whole collection because it would make tons of money.
I just assumed that was implicit.
Maybe there's a concern there of managing it. I don't know.
It could be. I don't know.
They do Magic the Gathering online though, right?
Yeah,
and it works the same
way. And Versus had a video game on several handheld systems, and you could purchase things online there and manage all of that. So I can't imagine that being much.
I wish that they would.
Difficult.
And I don't know why they wouldn't.
Huh.
I mean, in the age of everybody wanting to microtransaction everything to death, I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
Saving it for 2012.
I'm amazed.
Maybe.
I
don't know. I don't think that's part of this next one. I think it's just a core deck that you get. And even with, like, why don't you do any releases down the road? I mean, they did some DLC for Duel of the Planeswalkers that was adding a couple more decks. And, like, they were ones I think that were already used in the game and maybe some new ones.
Oh, yeah, it's the ones that enemies were using.
And they have challenges in there, so you can do more of the challenges. Like, you know, you have this turn to kill somebody, you have to figure out how to do it, which I've always loved those from my dorky Magic the Gathering magazines when I was a kid. Don't laugh at me. And they had like a picture
We're
of like
laughing with you.
They had a picture of a table, and they're like, "Here, you have one turn to live, and what do you have to do?"
You make the call.
And I like those a lot. So those are fun. But I hadn't completed all those either, so I went back and finished those. But I don't know why they don't choose to go that route with buying packs. They could totally make tons of money.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm glad they don't either, because I would get sucked in like a loser.
I just assumed that was immediately where they would go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. So hopefully you can do that for the decks. I also hope that you can like specify which lands you want to tap, because how the game works now is that it taps everything automatically for you.
Oh, really?
And it
so like
it kind of weighs an AI based on what you still have in your hand and leaves that out on the table.
That's so
But there's still some things where, like, there's things that you have to use specific colored land for, obviously.
Yeah.
And sometimes if it's a colorless and they just, you know, have it use whatever is available, they will try to balance it with what's in your hand, but I notice they don't also always balance it with what's on the table.
Sure.
So there'll be some stuff on the table that maybe I would want to use, but they used the land for me already, and I'm like, well, thanks, everybody.
Oh, you know what? Here's a possible hypothesis why they didn't go the microtransaction route, because there's a limit on how much DLC they can offer, right?
Per release, yeah, that's true.
So that probably makes it difficult to be like, buy whatever you want to buy.
But I wonder if that's an open, like if it works that way with an open-ended thing, because disc games are limited to DLC too. But the hockey game last year, for instance, they did those card systems, and you could buy packs of cards to put in there. Okay. So
I could easily see it being more limited for XBLA though.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I guess that would be the strongest.
Seems like a gold mine.
Yeah.
Seems like a gold mine sitting there, and they're just not doing anything with it. Yeah. So I don't know what their reasoning is.
Weird.
I told them not to.
You know what though? Also, I think they.
I don't want to hear about this every week.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to hear about cards.
I think they do. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm.
Are you also the one who wrote Bill Gates?
Yes.
Maybe Damn you. Maybe I'm misspeaking here. So if I'm incorrect, please correct me, and I know you will, special folks out there. But I think that they have an online component on the PC side that works like we're a store where you can purchase cards and use them.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to compete with that. Maybe they want to sync everything into that and not put it on.
That seems reasonable.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to branch out and put it on everything, but maybe they have their resources tied to that and they don't want to expand it. I don't know.
Send us your best hypothesis to comments at signedinpodcast.com.
Also acceptable, they hate me. I will take that answer.
Like you.
They might be doing it as a personal favor to me. But anyway, that was my long-winded. I'll have more Magic next week because I'm going to buy the next game because I love it. Cool. It's a lot of fun.
Rumors are true, though. Gatling Gears is awesome.
The rumors?
The rumors.
You were able to confirm?
I was able to confirm the rumors.
Thank you.
That game is so fun. It's beautiful and just... there's some parts where I'm just left staring at the screen and then I'm forgetting how I got to shoot here.
The only thing I wish about it, because I purchased it as well after our last show, I wish it was a little louder.
It is loud. I have to turn it down every time I start it up. I have to remember that.
Yeah.
I normally, with my sound system, I normally have it on about a 20 gauge.
Yeah.
It's like the 20 mark I know is about where everything needs to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got to put this thing down to like 15.
Yeah.
And even then it's like super loud. And I'm like, really?
It's awesome.
It's exciting. It's immersive.
It is. My wife does not agree with you on the excitement part in terms of the volume, but I am with you.
The sound is fantastic. I mean,
it's amazing.
Just all the things that the machines do. And
I love when you pick up
effects.
the Gatling upgrade, and it just winds up, and then
like when you die and that's a cool noise. Like when you come back, and it's just like very cool, very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on with it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been pushing through on hard. Little by little. It's not so bad. I only just now got to like this. I got through the prologue in the first chapter, and so I'm just now getting to the second chapter. It's actually not so bad because I've got the fully upgraded walker which is more powerful.
I was just gonna ask, can you take your upgrades back through harder difficulties? Okay, good.
Yeah, cool. It's all the same game. And you know, you get a ton more points for that because it keeps your old points too for that level.
Nice.
Man, it is insane. I think enemies drop more gears, and because they're just more difficult, you know.
So you get more.
Yeah, rocket launcher guys will shoot like 2 rockets, and you know, they take longer to kill and all sorts of stuff. Man, those boss battles. So,
woo! I'll bet.
Yeah,
I finally broke my controller with it. The left stick is completely stuck in a down position if I leave it, like if I push down, because you're constantly moving the sticks, like they're never resting.
Yeah.
Because you're always moving either to shoot things or to get out of the way of bullets,
or
and
both.
So you're just never
Generally
stopping.
It's always these guys with the flamethrowers.
Oh,
man.
you gotta watch out
They
for
just
those
come out of
guys.
nowhere.
They do, and they are fast.
Yeah.
They're not shooting at you, so you're like, oh, I got some distance. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah, and you're on fire.
yeah, they are a priority on the screen always. When I just see some dudes running out there, I'm like, oh, you fuckers.
Yeah, they suck. But yeah, so I finally broke my controller, and it's
awesome.
It's stuck, so I had to trade it out with another.
Have you guys finished the game?
I have not
either.
You may need co-op in order to do that.
Yeah.
We'll see when I get
just
there.
from my experience.
I think
Are you playing on normal or easy?
Normal.
Okay, normal. Yeah, then you
so.
you may need co-op. I don't know how it is on easy.
Contrary to everybody thinks I only play games on baby level.
What? That wasn't what I was thinking.
Not you.
I was just curious.
I get online all the time.
Do
too.
you? Well, we
You
probably
say it
started
once on the show. That's all it takes.
I know.
and we
For
review
those
for it a
losers
million
that leech
times.
on
Well, there's
to it,
that's all
they
it takes.
hold on to it. That's all they talk about for years. It's like, get a new material, guys.
This sounds like it's turned into a story about you. No, there's a forum in particular I go to that now it's been, I mean, people will just talk about it and they say, I've been playing this game on Super Pro mode.
Do they really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Maybe just one jerk in particular.
That's all you
I don't need that. It's not always baby mode with me. Just a lot of times.
Yeah, but have you guys played any of the co-op?
No.
I have not done co-op yet.
You should.
I want to, but I've only even gone, I don't think I'm even halfway through the game yet. Because I mean, as far as just saying what I've all experienced with it as of yet.
Sure.
That prologue, I couldn't believe how long it was. I'm like, oh, that's just not even
a full
started
chapter.
yet.
Yeah, it's a full chapter. Yeah, essentially.
Exactly. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I do need to finish it. I kind of forgot. Well, I got busy with other stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I always find that going back into the prologue is difficult because I'm shooting at the wrong guys. I'm like, oh wait, you're allies now.
You know what I wish? I wish XBLA games kept charging you until you finished it. Because then I would finish the game.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I guarantee you I would.
Like
go bankrupt.
Like be an interest rate or something like that. 10% interest rate.
I know this isn't going to be a popular opinion.
Their goons come over. We heard you haven't finished Planeswalkers yet.
But I wish I could pay it was $1 a week. I didn't finish it.
So you're renting.
Because I would, yes, and I would totally play it then. Because now I buy it and I'm like, I own it. I can play it anytime, which equals I never play it.
Yep.
I need that.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody'd be willing to offer that service.
Oh yeah.
Me paying them $1 a week, I don't finish a game.
Yeah.
No, I am not taking applications for that. So. Or I am. Send us an email. I'll take your application. Maybe I can offer that service.
Sweet.
Any other arcade games for you guys?
I think that's it for me.
That was it for me too.
All right, let's talk a little demo.
Yes.
So I got a couple demos to talk about this time. Did either of you guys try these demos out?
I tried the first one that I can't pronounce.
El Shaddai.
El Shaddai.
El Shaddai.
Is that it?
I don't.
I did try it out.
El Shaddai, The Rise of the Metatron, I believe it's his full title.
It is. I wish Sean would have tried this game out.
Oh, yeah. Seriously.
Darn it.
I don't know about you. I was reminded, not gameplay-wise. Gameplay-wise, there's a vast difference, but I was reminded of the time when I first played the demo for Bayonetta. And that whole what the fuck is going on here
there's a
feel
lot of
that I got when I started it.
Right.
So I can't really explain what's going on.
I understood more in Bayonetta.
Yeah.
What was going on?
No, yeah,
in
definitely.
This is like, it's like Bayonetta, except I don't understand. Even though it's nothing like the game. I don't know what the fuck's going on in this game.
Neither do I, but that's kind of awesome in some respects.
In some respects.
How did I not check out demos this?
I don't know. Well, this one's weird though too because
It kind of slipped out at a weird time, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know what the deal is with it.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on. I don't even know how to
had the demo for a while, I guess, or something.
And then like Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes shows up, and he's like in his black shirt.
Oh, is that who that is?
No, but it looks like him, and he's like just talking, and there's something. But you're like an angel.
Yeah, it's like battling. It's in the middle of the story, basically.
It's dealing with all this religious stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, because they have the disclaimer at the beginning about how it is dealing with religious aspects, and it doesn't reflect anybody's opinions. Blah 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 blah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
but you're a dude in jeans and what looks like a paper armor.
Yep.
And and basically you run along and then get into 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 battles, you know, every so often, and you have to beat up the dude. Every time you get hurt, like, because there's no gauges or anything anywhere, and so you just have to pay attention, because whenever you get hurt, some of your armor falls off, and so you have to pay attention to how much armor you're wearing. The level of jeans you can see is a good indicator. And then, so basically it was a rinse and repeat game for me, because, you know, beat up a dude until he gets slightly stunned, run over, press the left bumper button to steal his weapon and purify it, and then beat him up with his weapon until he dies, then go beat up the next guy, steal his weapon, because the weapons will also corrupt over time, and then, but you can re-purify them, but...
Are you in, Sean?
Yes. I'm glad I tried this.
I kind of like the hovering, like, little drones weapon that you had, because you could shoot, like, they would shoot around you.
Those missiles and stuff that you shot out.
That was pretty cool. And then they would have a different attack if you're in too close or whatever.
Yeah, and then you could like charge it up too, which they don't tell you.
They don't tell you
anything.
I didn't figure that out.
So I just I'll just hold down the X button and see, because I'm just playing around with it at that point. Yeah. And you can charge it up, and it does this huge attack with those missile things.
I didn't try that out. Because I didn't figure out the charge until the very, very end. But you can also defend, and they'll like make a little wall in front of you. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. But then it's like these platforming aspects too, because there's holes in the wall.
I'm like walking along, what?
Because because it's a weird like dream-like level that you're going through, where it's just like outlines of stuff, and sometimes there's water on the floor, and sometimes there's holes in the floor, and they look the same.
Yeah.
So I was just jumping over puddles or anything that looked like a big black spot. I was jumping over it because I didn't know if I could fall through it or not.
Sometimes it'll switch to essentially 2D, and like there's the clouds coming at you, and because I get to this one spot and I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get over there? And then I kind of just and take a leap of faith.
Exactly.
And then I land on this rolling cloud, and I'm like, okay, I was not expecting this.
Yeah, because it goes to a side-scrolling platformer at some point in the game, and it's just like there's just a lot of weird stuff.
And based on the screenshots, there are a few other art styles and things like that later in the game, and visually and design-wise, it's actually kind of cool. That's what I really, really liked. Gameplay wise, it was kind of dull. Like I said, it felt really very rinse and repeat.
I think that gameplay wise, like style wise, it's definitely got something going for it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I know right now I'm never going to understand what the fuck is happening the entire time in the game. I think
because it's one of those
and maybe even not know what I'm doing.
Things, yeah.
I'm just like pounding buttons and I'm not really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much it jumped around in the story either.
Yeah, me either. But I don't know how much that's going to matter.
True. Good point.
It's interesting though. Check it out.
Yeah,
and blow your mind.
Definitely,
or melt it.
A little bit of both.
Maybe both.
The other demo I tried was Dungeon Siege 3,
which I did not try.
And so this is a dungeon crawler, but it's a full disc dungeon crawler that's coming out soon. You have a choice between two different characters. One is like this. I can't remember. I only played one person. I played the fighter guy. I think the other one is kind of a magic-y person.
Magic-y person.
Yes. Fire elemental.
Choose a fighter or magic-y person.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway.
That'd be an awesome game.
Magic-y person needs food badly.
Yeah, so...
that'd be too long.
And sorry. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. There are little side quests that you can pick up and run around, and you kind of have to backtrack sometimes and keep that in mind, because it feels very linear to begin with. Yeah. You know, because you're walking down a path essentially for most of the game. And then I would pick up a side quest and I'd be like, okay, going forward. I'm like, where the hell is this side quest? And you know, I'd look at the map. I'm like, oh, it's way the fuck back there. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I wasn't like super thrilled with it. Okay. and it's kind of hard because there are a lot of hack and slash dungeon crawlers that have come out recently with with Torchlight and D&D Dagger Dale and probably some other thing I'm not thinking of, but there's and then there's this and this looks, I mean, the graphics are very, very nice. I think the sound was good. I can't remember the sound. It's been a while since I played it. Anyway, but gameplay wise, it was basically the same sort of feel as those two games, the XBLA games. And so, I mean, I'm sure it's a much longer game. I'm sure it's got a lot of things available to it.
And the big hook here too is the multiplayer aspect. Yeah, because you can do co-op.
You can do co-op, and you get a party as well.
Can you do that in the demo at all? Or is the demo only single?
You can. I believe you can use co-op in the demo. Yeah, I didn't do it myself, but
maybe we'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and I think the co-op will be a lot.
We probably should have checked that out before the show. I should have been on the ball for that.
That's all right. Yeah, and so I think the co-op will definitely be the thing that gives it a leg up over something like Torchlight.
But it's also a disc release at that point, so
it is.
It's 4 times the price of Torchlight.
Yeah, and I don't know I don't know what the pricing is going to be for it. I don't know if this is going to be one of those that's maybe $10 less, $50 or whatever. But it's definitely cool, and if you're interested in dungeon crawlers, you probably already checked it out. But if you haven't and you have a passing interest in dungeon crawlers, you should check it out. I think it can be a lot of fun. I'm not really purchasing disc games these days, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to play it. But I had fun with what I played.
I think it's out in a week or two.
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon.
Next couple weeks.
Anyway,
I'll have to take a look at the demo.
Yeah, you should.
I still haven't checked it out. So
cool.
You should. You like those games.
I know.
Loot collecting.
I know. I suck.
and you can equip yourself with different armor and weapons, and they all have different stats and all that stuff. It's cool.
I'm into it.
Word. You'll want to keep everything.
I will want to keep everything.
There's no place to store it.
How about is that it for demos?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Green Lantern.
Sure.
You guys are so enthusiastic.
This game,
Rise of the Manhunters.
Rise of the Manhunters. This game is like the what the Thor game should have been, because it's like the same exactly freaking game.
Oh really?
Oh
with
yeah,
a different skin.
Yeah, because he doesn't fly. Like Thor didn't fly,
but you move up to your spot.
So then you move up to your spot, and then you hit your button, and then they jump to the next spot, just like the Thor part. But it's so much easier to control.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. The camera's little. I don't like it because I'm used to moving the camera with the right joystick, but that causes you to dodge. Every button on your controller is used for something.
Yeah.
You've got a shield on your left bumper. Your right bumper is kind of like this forward block that puts up, like, you kind of charge and put up a green
drill.
A drill. There you go.
Yeah.
And then you have you can load up 8 constructs onto each trigger.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask how the construct thing works.
And then those coincide with the buttons.
Yeah.
And I think it's 10 constructs total you can play, and you get those as you level up through the game. Yeah, and you only level up to 10. This game I absolutely loved. I mean,
good.
I really enjoyed it. I dug the look of it. The 3D look wasn't that great. I tried about 3 minutes of that and gave up. But I enjoyed it. I like the story. The voice acting is a little weird at times, just no emotion. But I thought the voice acting was good. But the story kept me going, and it's the same button smasher, like same thing. But then they throw in those levels where you're actually flying, and it turns into a shooter.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Which I like, and I thought visually it was cool. My only thing with the game is I got done with it pretty early, and I've got 2 achievements left to get. So it's really it's an XBLA game. I don't understand. I don't see the disc. I see this being a really cool like XBLA game. The disc part of it I understand because of the movie and all that. Right. Just the licensing on it alone, but.
Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, but this has like the replays there. I played through as a poozer, but you still get to take your level 10 and all your constructs with you and go and play all those levels. And then there's like meteorites to find and things like that throughout the game. And I like also as you get your constructs, or not your constructs, but your melee attacks have one's a sword and the other one's like a hammer or fist. But as you upgrade those, as you get points throughout the game, those become bigger and they do different things, which I thought was a really nice touch to the game.
Yeah.
There's really some neat things involved. The characters were cool. It was a Green Lantern story. I thought the Green Lantern story was really good.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's an easy 1,000 points because as I said, I'm 2 achievements away.
Licensed games.
And this is Sean talking. And if I'm 2 achievements away, then you know.
Now, is it like Terminator Salvation where there are only 11 achievements?
No, there's like 40.
There's 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I checked with it. With these kind of games where I'm like, because that usually tells me quality level.
Yeah.
Like where we're at.
Depth level.
Yeah.
But and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's got a normal sized number of achievements. But then I saw Sean had a ton.
Yeah.
Not a slam on you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, obviously they must just come falling.
You're not a diehard achievement hunter.
I'm not. But with me only needing 2 more, I can get it really easily.
Nice impetus.
But yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with the game. Is
cool.
it the best game in the world? No, but I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it looked really cool, and especially the Manhunters. Some of them get really, really fun. It's tedious. It's really
totally simplistic. I mean, it's really just a fighting game where you're just going hack and slash kind of type game where you're just beating them up with your constructs.
Yeah.
But your analysis of the Thor thing, or the comparison to Thor, was perfect, because that's exactly what I thought. The minute you start playing it, it plays just like that Thor game, except it plays well. I didn't have a ton of targeting problems. I did have some problems with one of the constructs where you shoot. I can't remember what you're shooting. Like your laser things, or you're shooting your whatever, because you have your ring power that does drain over time, but you recoup that from finding it around in these vases. I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They're lanterns.
Well, no, they're not. They're vases.
But you find health in there too. But I don't know how you find the green power in it.
I know.
The batteries are cool though.
But you do build that up, over time, or it regenerates on its own.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of targeting issues with that, because you do point in the direction of it you want to shoot it, and sometimes that's a little finicky.
Yeah.
But you didn't have control of a camera, which sometimes that is the indication that there isn't going to be camera problems.
Right.
Because in Thor, when you controlled the camera, you were fighting it the entire time, because you would need to move it around is the problem. And so I didn't have that here. And it was a much clearer, crisper looking game than Thor was, because Thor was kind of muddy in spots.
It was.
I remember
and really dark and just like hard to see what's going on. And that's not the case here. Everything's really clear and bright. And you have those different mission styles. Is that the only 2 different things? Is like the regular fighting and then the flying?
Yeah,
type?
That's about it.
Okay.
But I also liked how they mixed.
The flying was fun.
The flying was fun. I like how they mix up the bosses too. Like especially when you build up. If you build up your lantern power, then you can go in this overload where you're like shining just bright green, and you're kind of in green flame, and then it has an extended length, so then you could just drop all this stuff. And some of the constructs you get are really cool. I mean, there's a one where it's a complete jet, and it reminded me of like Secret Origin, where he takes the green jet and slams it on what's his name that I can never say. But that's like, I like that. There was some really neat, really cool aspects about it, and I thought it looked really good, played well. I don't know, and I like how you can join in.
It is a local co-op.
Local co-op.
Oh,
and they can join in at any time, and they're pretty much your level.
Oh, do they come in automatically?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I went for that, the co-op. You play one level of co-op. I just moved Sinestro along with me, fought everybody, and then when I'd get beat up, I'd switch control to Sinestro and just start hammering because he'd be still loaded up.
Nice.
So, and he had all the same constructs as I did. I thought that was I think that's the other cool part about it, is that you can go back, play any level, and you still have your level 10 whatever, everything you've purchased, but
that's good.
It just seems like a really just kind of fun game to play. But this game, that's the only problem. That's if it was a XBLA game, I thought that it was a perfect spot for it, because
you need that cash in money.
Yeah,
Cash in.
Follows the trend, it'll be like twice the price of a XBLA game, and pretty soon.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It'll drop down quite a bit.
Exactly. But
July 1st.
If I was on the development team for this game, I would have proposed for the construct thing. There was this game that I played on PS2, I believe, PlayStation or PS2, called Graffiti Kingdom. it was essentially kind of a Pokemon game, but you drew your monsters, and based on how you drew it, that's like how they got their attacks, and like it would fully animate them and things like that. Like I went balls out with this thing. I had like a DJ dude who had like spinning turntables and bouncing like speakers next to him and stuff like that, you know. And so that would be, I would propose that you could draw your own. Now, drawing with joysticks is very difficult. But draw your own constructs, and then how you draw it would create different types of uses.
They opted to go with beat up these 3 guys and move forward and beat up these 3 guys. But I'll, you know, if you would have been in charge, that would have been awesome.
Green Lantern 2. I'll get on that one.
But they took a different route. Yeah. They went to one that didn't require anything really
creative
at all.
Oh man, I miss Graffiti King. Anyway.
They mix it up with the worlds too, so they keep it. I don't know. I don't know. They kept it.
It's
fresh.
It's very simplistic though.
Yeah,
I mean, it is an all ages title where anybody can pick it up and play it. So that's nice. I guess.
And some of the things they did with it are really neat, like some of the end toward battles and stuff like that, and some of the constructs he comes with. It's pretty cool.
Well, I'll find out when I spend 3 hours when I get home and finish it.
That's about that's what it'll take you.
As opposed,
I didn't play that much of it.
As opposed to the 7 hours it took me to finish Red Faction Armageddon.
Nice.
7 hours. I think I've done 1 7-hour night of multiplayer of Guerrilla.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
But anyway, so Red Faction Armageddon is out. It sounds like I'm the only one that played it.
Sorry.
I
have it there. I have it there.
I didn't know you had it.
Green Lantern totally won out.
I was
into that game.
I may have to extend my time with it since we can play Infestation, which I didn't know we'd be able to do. I mean, because it's like their horde mode.
Sure.
I didn't know you had it, so we could play that together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, the game it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And I should lead that everybody, if you listen to the show, you know my apprehension with the game.
Right.
You know our love for Guerrilla.
Right.
That is widespread between all 3 of us on the show. And my apprehension for Armageddon and the reasons for that. And the demo had me worried and had maybe some of those confirmed. The full gameplay, here I approached it with trying to separate Guerrilla.
Right. Which is hard.
That is really, really hard to do.
Yeah.
Because you're in the environment, you're in the whole story of Red Faction.
Right.
All the type style is the same, all the weapons are the same. Everything looks like Red Faction Guerrilla, but it's not Red Faction Guerrilla.
Right.
And so I appreciate what they try to do as far as like the linear story, and they are successful with it. On its own merits, it is a well done game.
Cool. Like the story and all of that.
The story it's okay.
Oh,
the story, I don't know that the story is awesome.
Sure.
But it is definitely a linear story that directs you in a path.
Did it feel more motivated than it did in Guerrilla?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely have a threat that you're trying to stop, and so as far as that goes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, there was a goal and a mission that in mind the whole time, instead of like kind of making up your own gameplay as you went along. So that is definitely streamlined that way. But it almost feels like a revert. I don't know. It reverts back because you have this like open experience in not in the first game, but like the last game, Guerrilla, where they really opened up the game and said you can kind of go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And now to rein it back in and streamline it into I understand the reasoning for that for gameplay wise, but it feels a little restrictive as a player.
And I'm sure that's going to be a common thing amongst players.
Me too. But it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. The graphics are fantastic. The cutscenes look amazing. The explosions all look great. The weapons are awesome.
Yeah.
The singularity gun, which you get, is awesome. I don't remember if they had that in the demo.
They did have it in the demo because I nearly killed myself the first time I had it.
Once you don't get it until like later in the game, but once I got it, that's all I was using all the time.
I'm sure.
Just like unloading on shit. Everything, like the explosions look fantastic. The problem is that it is extremely limited. There are a couple times where you go above ground, but a lot of the game is spent underground. And so when you can see the ceiling like 20 feet above you or 15 feet above you, it takes away a little bit of that impact as far as like crashing buildings down or
Feels
destroying
less grandiose.
things. Yeah, and the fact that it kind of gets, I don't know, the camera's really pulled in really close on the character. It has that Dead Space. I joked about the last time with it being like very Dead Space and then corrected myself. but there's a lot of dead space going on in this game. But the more I started playing, or the more I was playing it, I was realizing that it was very Dead Space like in the feel, and like with the way that the bugs were swarming you and the way that they would attack. And you just felt confined and constricted a lot of the times, and it just kind of loses that. And things get really dark at some points, and the explosions look great when they're blowing up, but then everything's in pieces and dark, and so you luckily you have your reconstructor all the time on your nanoforge, but it just gets a little weird. Like, I'm running around with it going all the time because I don't know where I need to rebuild.
Sure.
So I'm just like, well, I'll wait and see what comes back. Although they did add this awesome, like, reconstructor grenade thing that you can shoot out.
Oh, wow.
And so you just tap the left bumper instead of holding it down, and it shoots a little pulse thing, and then whenever it hits something, it like does this like repair thing that generates
like
out from
like
it.
A sphere.
Exactly.
Nice.
And so that goes for a couple seconds. So you can build things from far away, or I could just always keep running around and shooting it off and like building up walls and stuff.
That's cool.
That was cool. I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I really liked a lot of the other things they added in weapon-wise. We talked about the magnet gun before. The magnet gun is awesome.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But once I got some of the other regular weapons, it wasn't fun to mess around with that anymore.
Sure.
And the end game, not to spoil anything, but you do go through and there are some sticky points as far as like real battles you have to have and like based on sheer numbers. But the last like 2 hours of that game, it's just a constant like shitstorm that they send at you. And you are fully capable at that point from leveling up and going through the game and knowing how to handle things, but it becomes crazy. So I don't know. It was just, I got to the point where I died a couple times and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm running through everything. And I just ran past a bunch of enemies and I didn't even deal with them. I'm like, I'm just barreling through this area because it's impossible.
Right.
Because they're nonstop.
Well, yeah. I've had that in games before.
Exactly.
Well, good luck with the last level of Green Lantern.
It's the same kind of deal.
There's a lot. Don't give up.
right.
That's all I say. Don't give up.
Sean, I never give up.
I'm interested to see how
That was awesome. I had chills right there. He looked at me. I never give up. I was like, I believed him.
I'm interested to see how the Reconstructor plays into Infestation as well. Like if there's a bit of defense.
Yeah, maybe with
Usage.
multiple people.
Right.
Really, what I found when I was playing Infestation, because there are two other modes in the game.
You can play Infestation by yourself?
Yeah, you can play it singly.
Okay.
So you can play Infestation, which is basically their Horde mode, or you can play Ruin, which is their destruction mode from Guerrilla, where you just have like challenges and things you have to do and destroy as much stuff as you can and get a high score.
Yeah.
But that is also, it's free with the game because there's a code. Otherwise, you have to pay $5 for that mode, the Ruin mode. Infestation is free still, even if you rent it or whatever. But yeah, in there, it was me just running around shooting everybody. I didn't have any time or worries about reconstructing. But I've also only played it on one map, and there's a ton of different maps you can play it on. So maybe that factors into some of those other maps. Yeah. And I'm sure if you have multiple people, and you have a guy who could sit there and just like reconstruct stuff.
Yeah, rebuild the wall. You knock it down, shoot the monster, and then rebuild the wall.
But that would be fun. There are massive enemies, like bigger enemies, that shoot things that destroy objects.
Yeah.
So they'll ruin that anyway, probably at some point. Because
that's why you'll need to put it back up.
Your shit will all get blown up. As far as other aspects of the game, the sound design I think is fantastic. I really like the background noises or the background sound, the music of the game. I did have a couple issues with sound dropping out, where I would come into an area and start shooting, and there would be no sound effects going off.
Oh goodness!
And then everything would catch up.
Yeah,
like a couple seconds later. Didn't happen very often, but it happened a couple times. Or when I've gone into like a upgrade station and it won't make any noise at all, and then all of a sudden it'll make like 3 sound effects like on top of each other. So I don't know what that was all about, but they do have great background music, which I enjoyed. I really liked a lot of the gun sounds that they use, and they use this mechanic, which I don't think we talked about in the demo, which I really loved, and maybe I did speak about it, but I'll talk about it again. And that's if you're running out of ammo, they change the way that the gun sounds.
Yeah.
So it starts kind of not clicking like empty, but like once you get down to
like a higher pitch sound.
Yeah,
almost.
once you get down to like 10 bullets or less, it like makes a different sound. So you kind of have that audio cue of needing to reload until before you're out of bullets completely, which is nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I really like that.
Played that game.
There are the upgrades that we talked about before. You collect salvage by destroying buildings or killing enemies. and you can spend those salvage points to upgrade yourself, your abilities,
weapons,
your weapon capability, like handling of the weapons and how much damage they do. And those are all tiered out. So there's these circles that you can fill out, and then you increase, or you can go to the other tiers by how much percentage of the game you've completed.
Oh, okay.
So the further you get in the game, they unlock those.
Gotcha.
And there's a bunch of those to buy, including other Nanoforge abilities. So there's additional abilities you can get for your Nanoforge, which there's Berserk, which like increases your attack and defense for a limited amount of time. And then there's Impact, which sends out this like wave that forces everybody back, basically.
I think that was in the demo.
The force one was?
Yeah, I think it was.
And then there's Shockwave, which has this area effect where it sends everybody up into the air and they're all getting shocked.
Sorry, that's what
Is that
it was.
the one?
That's the one.
And then you can shoot them out of the air, basically.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a stasis.
Because that was kind of fun.
Continuing on with the Bioshock, the Dead Space theme, kind of like a stasis mode. And then there's Shell, which is awesome.
Oh,
That's the one that I kind of relied on. It throws out this protective shell.
Like a hamster ball?
No,
Do you crush things with it?
half a hamster ball, I guess, because it hits the ground.
Oh, okay.
And then as you level up, they of course increase the radius of all these attacks.
Sure.
But the shell, you throw it up, and basically anything that gets shot at you, it hits the shell and doesn't come in. So you can stand in the middle of it and kind of get a break from the action of everybody around you, like shooting.
Yeah.
And anybody that comes into it, like these nanites attack them and basically destroy them when they're in there. They're taking damage. So you just throw that shit up, and I really got to the point farther in the game. In fact, I got to be honest with you.
Awesome if like they tried to run through the shell and then their skeleton just came through.
Well, what happens is they kind of dissolve. So there was one that was in there, and he was like backing out, and he just like dissolved away as he walked out. Nice. He was like crawling back.
Oh boy,
my bad. I honestly didn't even use Berserk once in the entire game.
Yeah.
And I didn't use the Impact one, which is like the Force Blast thing. I think I get to the point where I rely on the same things over and over.
Sure.
I fall into that trap. And so I don't try anything new. And once I got to that shell, which was kind of like 3/4 of the way through the game, it became a necessity for you at that end of the game.
Sure.
Because you would basically hold it off as long as you can to take as much damage and then throw up the shell. And I think one of the last upgrades for shell is it reflects damage back. So
nice.
like bullets will hit it and they'll go back.
Nice.
So I would throw that up in the middle of a shitstorm and everybody would kill themselves because they would just be getting stuff bounced back to them and destroyed.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And that really gets impressive as far as technically looking at the visuals and the graphics that are going on at the time, because that's where like all those firefights and you're throwing up a shell and it becomes really, really intense.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it a lot.
Cool.
But the problem is at the end of all of this, and this may be, I just don't understand it, because I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say that Guerrilla is maybe the best multiplayer experience that we've ever had.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of another game that has that same feel.
I would
all.
say, yeah. Just sheer
always fun.
Sheer fun, like constant.
Never not fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Except for Railgun douches.
Screw those guys.
But other than those
You got a
times,
point. Yeah.
just find a different game. But I don't understand why you would take that mode and completely not represent it in any way.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would even be more forgiving of the release of Armageddon with the single player being an enjoyable experience, even if it's completely different than what you get in Guerrilla.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as there was that other aspect to it that you could still go to and have fun.
Yeah.
There's just no longevity for me.
Right.
The infestation mode is fun. I think it would be fun with multiple people, but it's ultimately going to be the same thing over and over and over. It's not anywhere near the experience of playing Guerrilla multiplayer.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially like a co-op campaign in some respects.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no story, but you
just do wave after wave after wave.
That's been my experience with horde type modes in previous games. So
I don't really get why they would choose to break off that whole segment of the game when they did such an amazing job at creating it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're planning so many different things for the regular campaign, they just didn't have the resources to to work on that on the side.
I don't know. Trying to look at it objectively from its own entry into the as a release
later, probably.
That would be too much, I would think, to do as DLC.
Yeah,
like that whole
that would be
breadth
a point.
of a multiplayer experience.
That would.
I just don't know why they would drop it.
Yeah.
It's so confusing to me.
Yeah,
because I loved it so much. But looking at it as its own thing, it is an adequate game. But having the knowledge, which I can't ever forget, which is Guerrilla, Like there is that other aspect of the game that I completely miss. You know, I really liked being able to do things on my own in Guerrilla.
Yeah.
And it was wide open and sometimes aimless.
Yeah.
You know, admittedly.
Right.
But I liked that, you know, there were puzzles in some ways where you had missions to do and you could do multiple things and solve it in various ways. And it was very creative and destructive at the same time, I guess. It was creative and the most destructive game I've ever played. And so you lose that a little bit, which is a little, I don't know, confusing to me. But it was fun. But it's hard for me to recommend it as a purchase. It's a definite rental. It is a great experience, but a 7-hour, you know, 7-hour game for the single player, and then with limited multiplayer options. And I don't really see a drive to continue to go through it again, like multiple times.
At least this will keep me focused, with it being linear, it'll keep me focused on the campaign, because I still have yet to finish the campaign. And I'll repeat that over and over until one day it happens, but it's not gonna.
When you're 80.
Yeah. I finally got the red.
But they do, you know,
gorillas.
I was bedridden for a week.
In that
Couldn't reach anything else.
I will give them complete credit too, though. At least they vary it up a little bit, because there are definitely some different modes in that single player experience where there's some vehicles involved. There's the mechs involved.
The mechs,
and some of those, some of them aren't as done as well as others. But, you know, it changes it up. So it does change up gameplay. It's not a stagnant, just running forward all the time.
Cool.
And so I do like that, you know, and you're above ground, underground, whatever. And so I like them changing that up. And it definitely keeps you forward moving and wanting to keep playing it. And maybe that's why it felt like it went so fast, because I did want to keep playing it legitimately.
That's good.
I just wanted, I don't know.
It's
so hard.
Oh yeah,
it's so hard.
It's gonna be weird trying to play the multiplayer on that and try to be like, what?
Well, yeah, because it's ultimately Gears Horde mode.
Yeah.
But you want to play Guerrilla.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just so weird. It is a weird experience.
Put on your Rhino and just start hitting things.
Except you don't have Rhino.
I know.
You got no backpacks. None. They were fucking amazing. How could you take all of it away? So I don't know. I look forward to you guys eventually checking it out, or you playing it and eventually sometime.
I'll be talking about it on the next show. So
I'd like to hear you guys' take on it.
I had all intents and purposes, and
you failed.
And I even argued the $20 deposit on it.
Did they make you do that?
They about did, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then, I didn't see the note. And I'm like, okay. So I guess it's only on people that only spend set amount of money there.
Maybe.
I found out the whole thing
and you're
behind
special
it.
now?
Yeah, I guess so. I've spent set amount of money there. I asked them 3 times, why did I play the deposit on Break? And they go, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, bye-bye. Never mind, I'm sorry. That was stupid.
Is this our family video podcast?
No. Hey, did anybody see the Green Lantern Avatar shirt, though? That's awesome. That is awesome.
Is that the free one?
No, it's not free. It's just it's 80 points, but it's a total Green Lantern t-shirt.
Did you buy it?
Not yet. And I stress yet. But that's only signs of hope that other comic book dork t-shirts are going to be hitting that Avatar spot.
It might just because of the movie.
Well, if there's a Batman, what
do you want, Superman?
Batman shirt. Superman have a Superman shirt. Why not? Just as long as I'll pay for those licenses.
Are we done with games?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
We're talking about some E3.
Sure.
Quick.
Yeah.
So E3 was last week, and Microsoft, I guess, was the only company that didn't want to showcase a brand new stupid game system.
Congratulations, Microsoft.
Because you won that battle, at least. Because the Wii U and the Vita.
Vita. I don't
fucking
know how
terrible.
because I didn't watch any videos.
Terrible.
What is
the Vita?
What is that? From who? PS?
Sony.
Sony, yeah.
Vita?
You're so cute.
I am. I'm adorable.
Like a little bunny. What's this?
What? The Vita? Vita from Sony?
Yeah, it's their new PSP,
That's awesome.
essentially,
Yeah.
with touchscreens.
Two joysticks.
2 joysticks.
That's nice.
Whatever. We'll see.
You know what else comes with 2 joysticks? The Gears friggin' console. Oh, that thing looks awesome.
That looks terrible.
Shut up. I want it.
I will shut
Does it have
up.
like a chainsaw coming out of the side or something?
Close
Only
enough.
if you hit a button.
Close enough. It's a Swiss Army Xbox.
I think it looks stupid. That bright red. And,
Oh, I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
What do you? I don't get those branded Xboxes.
I like that one.
Because it just looks stupid. Like, I like the black or white design.
Sure,
as far
I understand.
As they go in with like what you have sitting up.
I agree. I haven't liked any kind that have come out yet, and that one for some odd reason I like. And plus, it's got the 2 controllers with the D-pad that switches.
It's just like, would you ever want that sitting there?
Yes.
Your bright red Xbox with a big skull on it.
Well, it's not going to be sitting on its end.
I know.
You're just going to see the front of it. I'd get a red TV.
So at least we covered
red room.
We had covered the important things from E3.
You know it. I'm done. That's all I had.
So the Microsoft Press conference, really all we got was some of the updates coming to the dashboard.
Right. Yeah.
They had some
interesting things there.
Yeah. I don't really, the Bing thing, we were talking about that on the way down real quick. It doesn't do anything for me.
No, me either.
We'll see.
And is that mostly just for the video searching? Is that my understanding?
It searches everything.
Yeah.
So it searches,
but it's not a web browser.
No, it searches everything on the Xbox.
Oh, on
network.
the Xbox.
So it'll search
network.
like Netflix and like their marketplace.
I see.
I guess I'd never need to cast that wide of a net.
Well, I would like it because when I go on Avatar stuff, and I hate it's such a
the marketplace.
Bam,
if you're trying to look for older stuff, is kind of a pain.
I hate that, and I could just say the name of it, and then it's going to take me right to it. Because a lot of the times when I purchase my stuff,
because he's going to connect it up,
right? Exactly.
Yeah, because when I purchase it online, I usually, that's why I go, because I can type it in and it goes there and I just click on it and download. So I do like a lot of my like Avatar shopping online.
Yeah. It's just me or this new dashboard, the dashboard look that they show look more like Zune, the Zune player. Or,
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember too many specifics about it.
Remember? Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Anyway.
But then they mentioned briefly the stuff with the cable, turning it into a cable box for TV stuff, which they give no other information on at this point. So who knows what that's going to require or entail. But the Bing thing doesn't, like I say, you make a case where I don't, like, I usually am looking for one thing and I know where to go get it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the examples they're giving of like, searching X-Men. Like, I don't need to see every X-Men thing. If I'm looking for one X-Men thing, I'll go find that thing. But I'm never like, I just feel like I'd like to see everything having to do with Wolverine.
Well,
show me everything, because I don't know what I want to do today.
It might be nice, though, if you're looking for, like, downloadable content. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not sure there's any downloadable content.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We shall see.
I'm looking forward to it.
And then the other stuff that they announced, obviously, was mostly just all Connect stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because they didn't really announce any exclusive games or anything along those lines. And I can understand them
Dance Central 2.
I can understand them not wanting to take the time of their media blitz press conference that's going to be covered on CNN and everywhere else to promote games that are available on every system.
Right.
I mean, they want to kind of tell what they're doing specifically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there was a lot of Connect talk and the Fun Lab stuff, which I haven't messed around with yet. It's available now, though.
Yeah.
Did you look at it?
It's pretty fun. I mean, it's exactly. It's just showing you what the future may bring, which I thought was really neat. My face is really weird.
Did you do the thing where it scans you?
Oh yeah, I scanned my little character, and it was really weird looking avatar of me. I'll tell you that right now.
Did they have the thing where you can do the other objects yet?
I played the googly eyes, which I took a comic book,
okay,
and then put it in front of the camera, and it had my hands in it, and then it made a little googly guy, and I was able to make him dance and jump around.
I'm gonna do my dog.
So, oh man, that's so.
I'll see if I can send you a picture of it.
Look at Red Skull going on there, but I like them putting that stuff out there to show you. I think it's just a tool for them to use, so in the future they know what they can do.
Yeah, I mean,
what applications they can do.
It's just I didn't know they were giving out achievements for that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And then I'm like, well, man, I
saw them on your list.
Yeah.
And so now I got to go get some.
Yep. So just start sharing.
I guess.
Yep. Just like share 20, whatever. I'm not going to do that many.
And then you
say that now.
I know.
I don't know. The Connect games weren't doing much for me as of yet. You mentioned Dance Central, which obviously is still everybody's top game for Connect, probably.
Yeah. I'm interested in that sports the second season. I'm interested in seeing
sports is a good game.
What golf has in store. Darts. That one's throwing me off. I don't know about that.
Pun intended.
The football and baseball is a little bit weird, but tennis and golf, I'm looking forward to that. The skiing, I like that. Yeah.
How's that gonna work?
Well, I like the soccer works a little weird on the sports game, but I still
yeah, but
like
football's
it.
like hitting each other, and
But if it
Well,
works
not
anything,
always. It's just passing.
If it works anything like
okay.
the press conference, you need douchebags to yell out, Blue 42!
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I'm
I'll
not
do that
doing
for
that.
you. Will you?
I'll come over.
Awesome.
I'll be the douchebag.
Sounds good.
I'll be the. I want to be the.
Wait, that means you have to have your hands in between my legs. Because we have to act it out.
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, I'm just saying this. We're keeping it accurate.
Yeah, I'm
Or
looking.
Connect will know.
I'm looking
And it'll
forward.
disapprove.
I'm looking forward to some more because
And then we'll send that video out.
with the
No, we won't.
the new house and the more room, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not using the Kinect as much as Summer is, and that was pretty much from the get go was
Mm-hmm.
what was going to happen. So, but yeah, like the Star Wars game, seeing some more screens of that, seeing what that
looks
entails.
terrible.
It does, but definitely was going to rent it anyway, so I'll rent this one. So you know, I try those out. The Lead Me's I thought looked. I think it looks neat. That Lemmings type game where
Yeah, that was odd.
I thought the style looked really neat, and some of the screens looked pretty cool. But
I didn't hear about this. So how are you
It's-
supposed to lead them?
Okay, so what it is your body is like a stick guy on the thing, and so they'll walk across the platforms and stuff, and you'll have to like bridge them sometimes.
Yeah.
So like you're the stick guy, so they'll get on
You
your
are the
arms.
platforms.
They'll get on your arms and walk back and forth, and you have to like hold your arm up at like a 90-degree angle so they don't walk off.
Right, to create a
Yeah.
wall.
Or there looked like there was other things you could push down, so you had to push down platforms,
Yeah.
and then like that would
That
make
sounds kinda
things
cool.
change. It looked interesting.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, so-
I like the idea of it. I should say.
Well, and I always had the fun with that action or whatever the action adventure, the Kinect Adventures game because
Yeah.
those you know when you had to duck and move and all that stuff. So I haven't. I'm looking forward to some more Kinect games. At least trying them out. You know,
And they
via
announced-
renting.
They announced the Gunstringer is going to be a disc release
Yeah,
now and
yeah.
not on XBLA. That's interesting.
That was crazy.
I don't know how to take that. I'm hoping, I have a lot of faith in
Yeah.
Twisted Pixel. So
Got a lot of video and a lot of voice acting. Well, I
It's
guess
true.
their other games do too.
They do. So I
Yeah.
hope that they're beefing up the game a little bit
Yeah.
to make it at least more. It just seems like an odd decision. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it was too big to put on.
Well, yeah, and them having a summer arcade. One of the summer arcade games is an XBL. Well, it's a Kinect game. It's the
Fruit Ninja game.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja. Fruit Ninja.
Because
Kung Fu Ninja. I was about to say Kung Fu Fruit or something like that.
Because
I don't know
everybody who
what I was
has
gonna
that 99-cent app on their iPhone
Yeah.
now wants to buy a $10 game on Kinect for it.
say. Well, look out.
I think it's an odd choice for
Plants
Summer
vs.
Arcade.
Zombies.
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
say.
that is weird for summer.
Yeah.
It seems very oddly placed in there.
yeah.
And it seems
Most of the games for the summer arcade, I wasn't really it didn't grab me.
No, they're
so.
probably trying to call attention to Kinect arcade games.
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously what they're trying to do. It's
Right.
just, I wish it
So
wasn't
they're
so
going-
obvious.
They're going with one that's well known, and
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't so blatant.
yeah.
Because it makes, I don't know. I had the same problems with last year's Summer Arcade, though, where I was like, they look like shit. And then I ended up liking almost all of them. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I think some of them look interesting.
The Summer of Arcade?
That insanely twisted planet or whatever
Yeah.
it is, that looks like Patapon.
Oh yeah, it does look kind of
Like that's all,
Patapon, Yeah.
like that entire art style.
Yeah.
I think that game looks awesome. It
Yeah.
looks like crazy shit going on in there.
Was that Bastion? That dungeon crawler? That one looks. I've been looking forward to that. I heard about that a while back.
And Toy Soldiers,
Yes.
Cold War,
Yeah.
looks fucking sick.
It's like Rainbow.
I know.
It's awesome.
It looks
I said
amazing.
Rambo, not Rainbow, so people know. It sounded like Rainbow in my earphones, so it was Rambo.
And we got to see some more Gears of War.
Yes.
You
I've been
excited for
watching
that?
that trailer like
little bit.
I've been watching that trailer like I don't even understand. I watch it at least anytime that
Okay.
I have the Xbox on, I watch it at least once.
Can I just a second here? Though,
I don't know
just-
what's wrong with me.
Let's sidetrack this a second because I will say this: out of all the E3s ever, I think that like regardless of how the games end up being,
Yeah.
there are some sick fucking trailers that have been released
Oh, yeah.
for games for
I
this,
agree.
for this cycle of E3, and it is the strongest. Some of the strongest trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I just watched a whole row of them this last week that I'm like, holy shit! Like I don't even want to play this game. I don't care about it maybe.
Right.
But this trailer is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And there are so many that were like that. The Saints Row one. Did you watch that?
I did not watch the Saints Row
Me either.
one. I'm just
And I was
the
never
Saints Row. Yeah,
I was never a Saints Row. I need to maybe get into 2 because 3 looks like it's going to do some like amazing stuff.
I heard it's crazy.
It looks
like
crazy.
The insanity is ramped up on it.
But that trailer is sick.
Cool.
Like, you need to watch it. Like, it doesn't even have anything to do with gameplay. But it is just amazing looking. And, like, they're just doing some awesome stuff. Did you watch the new Metro one? The Metro 2033, they're doing the sequel to that.
No, I didn't realize there was a trailer for it.
And they're using that Portishead song, that Machine Gun song.
Oh, nice.
And it is, I don't like that Portishead song as much as I love them, but it is done amazingly. Like, I want to go watch it right now.
I'm looking forward to that game quite a bit.
I bet you are, because you like that first
I really
game.
liked that first one, and from everything that I hear, they've really been working on tightening up the gameplay of it, which was the only thing that was really lacking, in my opinion.
That Tomb Raider trailer... She's totally like Green Arrow. She's like getting like
I don't think I've seen this.
She's totally getting stranded on some like island by herself with like no tools or nothing. This is like pre
they're doing earlier.
Yeah, this
I see.
She's wanting to advance. I'm that just the trailer alone got me kind of interested. I've never really
I want them to do another XBLA.
Yeah. But that one kind of pulled me in.
Yeah.
I liked they were showing at one of the press conferences. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe the Microsoft one? Yeah, it was a Microsoft. And they were showing gameplay. They were actually going through some of the Tomb Raider stuff. And some of it looked... I mean, I've never been a Tomb Raider fan.
Yeah.
So some of it was okay. They really... her constant, like, sighing and breathing and grunting was, like, driving me nuts. But I like some of the effects that they were doing. I really liked... She was, like, in this cavern area that she was, like, trapped and had a torch, and every time she would go in the water, it would go out, so she would have to go keep relighting it, which I really like that aspect of the game. It looked interesting. I'll definitely play it, but it had a little bit more of, or a lot more appeal than I've ever had with a Tomb Raider game before, at least.
Yeah.
Just on that, seeing that.
Yeah.
Even though they're just basically doing Uncharted or a Croft. But might as well go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
What can you do? I'm sorry, we interrupted your Gears orgasm over there.
No, I'm fine. My gearsgasm is gonna
gear. No, that won't.
My geargasm is gonna happen like forever.
Gross.
I'm
You might need to see a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. They should have warning signs on this. I'm looking forward to it. I just did the War Pig song that they have on that one trailer, and I've got to see some Ice-T totally rocking some gaming. Just, you know,
when he was playing it.
Yeah. He's got his sunglasses on, being him.
Yo, wait. Cliff, I want to tell you, as a gift for you, I got Body Count back together, and we did a whole new song. Oh, thanks, T. That was really well scripted when they were on stage.
You know.
Because Cliff didn't know it before then, and they did a song for the game.
Because why would they?
He broke it right then.
Right. Breaking news.
And then the Catwoman, and I didn't know about the whole Catwoman Batman Arkham City thing. Did not know about that.
Well, I think they just
Great
released it the week before. So
So I think even a week before, I didn't even know that. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
But that trailer was fantastic too. Her walking around all sexy, rocking the Jim Lee look.
Why did you have to bring that in?
I know.
Why? What's wrong? I don't care. That's what it's for. That's what she's there for. You guys.
That's what she's there for.
That is what Catwoman is there for.
I'm really excited because she's gonna. I'm looking at Jeremy now.
Thank you. Wait, is that why you're excited?
Yes.
That was terribly worded.
Yes.
She was sexy in her comic book too. You guys know.
And I am enjoying the idea that she's going to be playing a little bit differently. That it's not just like a skin for Batman or whatever.
Yeah, with her whip and everything. Wasn't she using that?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff?
Yeah, instead of a grappling. But then, like, her attacks are just going to be a different sort of set of attacks.
Yeah.
For a large part. So I think that's going to be great, and we'll probably add a lot of replayability into there. Has anyone said anything about co-op? I can't remember.
I haven't heard.
Okay.
I know I saw some of the like gameplay stuff that they were showing with him gliding around the city, which looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like jumping off and using some glider thing that he was flying around with and using all this stuff. I mean, the game looks sick.
It's going to be great.
There's no way it can't be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a way it can't be, but it's still going to be good.
What, everybody will inject Bane venom into their bodies
that's what's
or
going to
whatever?
happen. It's all the time.
I'll be like, oh, this again.
Everybody gets big.
Yay.
You get to beat them up.
Look at me, a dick.
It'll be like Crackdown 2 then.
That's exactly right.
Oh, crack. I burned myself out in that game, man. Wow.
Did you guys see any of the Bioshock Infinite stuff?
Yeah, I saw some
No,
of the
I did. I read some things about it, yeah.
with the roller coaster ride.
Holy shit.
The whole... Yeah.
That game is sick.
I think I'm gonna get sick playing that game. Seriously, some of those things, like some of those shots of the gameplay and him riding that rail system with that whatever it is.
I'm
awesome.
so excited for that game.
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
glad that I'm glad that they took the aspect of the game and the ideas of it in the
Right.
universe, but
The
completely
principles.
turned it on its head as far as
Exactly.
you couldn't put it anywhere more opposite than putting it
You
above
put
in the
You
air.
put it above the clouds and not on the ocean
I
floor.
have a feeling my acrophobia is going to kick in so often during that game.
That's so awesome.
Because there's some
gonna love
parts.
it.
There's some parts that they show in some of the screens. I was like, whoa. I know I'm gonna be holding my breath from time to time in that game. Just remind myself to breathe.
And I love the idea, what they're doing the whole revolution and basing it on, the rebels fighting up against this system. And I'm really excited for it. And even though we got another year to wait,
Which is kind of what they were trying to do with BioShock 2. But yeah, it was hard since it was in the aftermath.
yeah. So you the rebels were the crazy people.
Exactly.
So you're the killing the people that were because they went nuts.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's it seems like it's
Got
a
a little
little
confused,
It
but
seems
yeah,
a little more balanced. where
exactly. A little
there's
more
actually a
streamlined,
revolutionary
straightforward.
people that are fighting that you can help out,
Precisely. Yeah.
which is nice. And
Yeah.
then I also am insanely. I don't even know where my time's going to go this November when Skyrim comes out.
Yeah.
Which I know we haven't talked about even before. Even earlier this year when we were talking about our anticipated games of the year, I was kind of avoiding a lot of information about Elder Scrolls V, and seeing all the stuff there made me have instant flashbacks to Oblivion,
Right.
which was my first experience of a game of that type on this current generation.
Yeah.
And it's when I walked outside that first time, and then you see everything, and you can go everywhere.
Yeah.
And now I see all this gameplay stuff from Skyrim, and I'm just getting sick. Because it looks like that, except it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Looks like they've touched up everything so much. They redesigned their engine, and the stuff looks great. They were doing some third person perspective look of gameplay, and it looked a lot tighter than it did in Oblivion because it was kind of stiff in Oblivion.
Yeah. It was very. That's an understatement there.
So it looked a little better.
Good.
I think I'll still be doing first person for the most part.
Yeah.
But there was a couple examples of times where there was just life all over the place. There was animals running around, and then there was times where he was walking, and there were these giant ass trolls.
Yeah.
And woolly mammoths all walking, and they were peaceful. So they were just walking along, and they were
That's very
huge.
cool.
And he decided to attack them. So they're not going to attack you by their nature, but if you attack them, they'll fight back.
sure, yeah.
So then they started attacking him, and there are these huge fucking trolls just beating on the guy, and that he could have just left alone if he didn't get stepped on by him because they're huge, and that is just amazing. The scope is unbelievable.
That's great.
And then, of course, they have the dragons, which they were showing some of the gameplay that I saw of them fighting the dragons, which looked insane. Because you fight the dragons, and then they get to the point where they can't fly anymore, and they kind of crash to the ground.
Right.
And so they were flying around aimlessly until they just kind of crash landed into the ground, and then you fight them from there.
That's awesome.
And they have those dragon powers that you get, those whatever they're called, the calls or the screams or whatever, where you kind of, if you destroy a dragon, you absorb their power.
Right.
So then you can use that later on against other enemies.
Could be only one.
Yeah, it was sick. It looked awesome. I got a huge boner for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
There wasn't much gameplay.
Look, seriously, look, huge. Not joking.
There wasn't much gameplay stuff for Aliens Colonial Marines,
Yeah.
but they did release some more information about it.
And I missed everything on it.
I'm getting very excited about this because
too.
if you remember way back when I talked about it as a coming game or
Yes.
whatever,
2 years ago, 3
yeah,
years
something
ago?
like that. I think
Yeah.
that was our first one of those. But it's a 4-person squad. And so it's team-based play, largely. And one thing that I heard and that I really liked as an idea is that unlike some other sorts of team-based games where you are given a role, basically, kind of like Team Fortress or something like that, you get to choose that. So you can choose your weapons and all of that stuff, but it's probably going to be very advantageous to have sort of a diverse group of, to have some sort of squad plan in terms of what people are equipped with, but to not have that be force-fed to you and just, be able to do what you want to do. That's pretty awesome.
And this is the Gearbox game, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, hopefully there's some of that aspect of the different classes, too, coming in from Borderlands.
Yes.
As far as, co-op playing.
Right.
And you're all supporting each other in different ways, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. The trailer was pretty cool, but it shows nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it lets you know that they are going back. Basically, it's a direct sequel to Aliens.
Yeah.
And takes place pretty much immediately afterwards.
That's nice.
So, yeah.
Have they announced any kind of like tentative date? Did you see? If they're not showing any gameplay, that's worrisome.
Yeah.
As far as this year, still.
I know.
Maybe it's next year.
I would not expect it this year. I would expect it in 2012, probably.
Okay.
But it was good to hear some positive, actual definitive stuff coming out.
People talking about it.
Yeah, I thought the game was dead. I thought it was dead in the water. So that was
every once in a while they bubble up and say, "No, we're not done with it yet," and then they go away again.
We're not dead yet.
So yeah,
there was an XBLA game that kind of jumped out at me. It was a fighter
Blood
game,
Rain?
not Blood Rain. Skullgirls.
Oh yes.
I didn't see this either.
It's just
I heard about this a while back.
Can I interrupt you? I hate that Microsoft doesn't take any time to talk about XBLA during their press conference, though. I do hate that.
Yeah.
That is exclusive to them, and a lot of these games are exclusive to them.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
why wouldn't you take the opportunity to promote that on the big whatever?
Weird.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. I just hate that.
I thought it was really it's a all girls game and it's a fighting game. But the
Finally just cut into what the nerds want.
Exactly.
Well, there was Rumble Roses.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I'm totally digging
Is it not on that level?
No.
Okay, good.
Never. No. I don't know what level it's on.
It's much more of a cartoon animated style for it.
That's cool.
And the weird thing is that everybody's got like weird headgear or hair, and that's basically where their strength and power is.
Well,
like it turns into fists and punches each other and stuff like that.
So I'm pumped. I know that one of the designers for Scott Pilgrim, the video game, did some of the.
Can't remember his name.
Yeah, did some of the designs for these characters, and they look like they're. It looks like a game that would be played in the Scott Pilgrim video game. Like if there was an arcade, that game would be there.
Yeah.
Nice.
And maybe it might. Who knows?
And from everything I hear, it's got a really good depth in terms of the fighting combos and controls and things like that. Yeah, so. Fighter game lovers, look forward.
I'm pumped just for the style alone. I like that.
Yeah.
One other thing that I don't know about that I didn't know about Minecraft. I don't know about that stuff. But that's coming. They're saying that's coming to Kinect too.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was pretty. That's a crazy.
it's coming to Kinect.
It's coming to Kinect.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
And some of the stuff they said for Mass Effect 3 too makes me kind of want to rent it.
Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3. Yeah.
Durr.
I feel like renting it just for the Kinect stuff.
Okay, well here
I didn't hear about the Kinect stuff.
I'm just
it
kidding.
has voice commands for Kinect. So so when you have your conversation wheel, you can read what it says on there and it does that answer. And I guess that's a lot easier than pushing over with the left stick and hitting A.
It is for me.
Fuck. No, it's not. It's not easier for anybody.
Well, you don't have to use it. It's just for fun.
It's just for fun. So I'm
you know
like,
what it's going to do
how
is you're going to forget to turn your Kinect off, and then you'll just shout something like "What the fuck?" and then it'll choose something that's similar to that.
There you go. It just seems pointless to me, and I'm not on the bandwagon of those people who say I hate that they're doing this because it takes away all this development. I don't think that they're going to skimp out on the game in other areas to do this.
No, they're not.
But there are people that think that way.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that have that belief. Though, you know, or putting resources into this means that they're not worrying about this, and that's not the case. But they did get to the combat section, and you can shout out voice commands, and so you can say, your teammate's name and tell them a attack for them to make or something to do, and that is awesome. Yeah. So now I still don't want to sit there yelling at my TV screen while I'm playing the game, so I probably won't do it.
Yeah.
But in a game like that, where sometimes you have to pause the motion to set up your characters to do things you want them to do, there is something much easier about just saying somebody's name and telling them what to do.
Yeah, that is nice.
Because then you can still concentrate on your action and you're doing your attack. Now, if it works, that'll be good.
Yeah.
If it's a thing where you have to say it 4 times before it happens, then I see that being more aggravating than anything else. We'll see how good it is.
My Xbox loves hearing what other people say. That's why I can never watch Xbox and someone says Xbox on my Xbox, because then the menu comes up.
Does it really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, see, that was always my thing. It's like, why wouldn't it pick up what other people are saying?
Yeah.
and then like go on its own.
On movies, it's a little problem if you have it set up. It will just all of a sudden. One time it started rewinding because I think the lady said back really loud.
That's what I'm saying.
She said box, and then she said back, and then it was like all of a sudden rewound. I figured as much.
That's
but I'm
terrible.
watching. I'm like, why the menu? And then all of a sudden rewound. I'm like, whatever.
That's terrible though.
But you got to set that volume and do all the collaborations
I guess.
or calibrations. I mean,
Or the corroboration.
or the cutscenes.
So anyway, I do like the idea of the combat, but
Yeah.
that stuff aside, I probably won't use it, and I would rather use it on a mic on my headset than yelling at my TV anyway. And there's no reason you couldn't do it that way if you're doing it through the Kinect.
Sure.
Or whatever. But that aside, the Mass Effect 3 stuff looks fucking sick. And I think I've said fucking sick about 8 times in this whole like conversation, but it looks amazing, and I can't wait for the close out of the game.
Yeah.
Me,
You mean the Avatar items? That's what Sean's
I can't wait. I can't wait for the closeout of that game too.
No, that's not what I mean. The end of the saga.
Yes, let's end it.
No.
Let's end it. So then, like down the road, they can 10 years.
OMG, shut up.
10 years later, they can do the
Halo?
director's cut, the Lucas mix.
I know you were excited
Halo.
about the Halo announcement, the Halo 10th anniversary edition.
Yeah, what did I say? Halo. Yeah, Halo gets the Lucas treatment. Totally getting redoed and remastered. What is up with that?
And then 4 coming.
Yeah, that
Next year.
looks awesome.
I don't care about Halo.
Nope.
We're terrible.
Yeah, you guys decide to mention it every
We have to. We have to. I have to.
I only do it to troll.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do it.
That was my unspoken part there.
I do it so that when people ask me, when they go, if they tell me, like friends say that they've listened to the show, and then they turn around and go, "Do you like Halo?" Like they're talking to me as a new gamer. And I'm like, well, then you don't listen to the show because you would know. So,
And I also do it
So
because
that's why you try to mention it every show?
yes.
well, no, it's also
So that any show they listen to,
I want
they
people
won't-
to
they won't
know
be in
that
the
this
know.
is an Xbox podcast that does not like Halo.
you also do need to mention it because otherwise I guarantee you will get comments on Twitter or emails that say,
why
how
did
could you guys
you-
talk about E3
Yeah.
but not even talk about the new Halo stuff?
Yeah.
Well, there's why. Because I don't care. I'll still play it next year and then talk about how much I hate it.
I'll play it too.
I only played 2 levels. I couldn't stand it. There's your early preview.
Hey, I made it through Breach or Reach.
You did.
Reach.
You played that whole game.
Was it Reach?
Whatever it's
Reach.
called.
Yes.
Who cares?
I made it through that whole game. Almost made it through ODST until I got bored.
ODST. I remember we played co-op with that, and I was like,
old dirty soldier.
Triumphs.
we played co-op, and I was like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Why did this game tell me what to do?
You were very aggravated.
I know. I go in with a wall up.
See, you shout at your TV already. I
do.
You are going to fit right in with the Connect
If they can
ability.
fix in a connectability in Halo 4 that when I say, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It tells me what I'm supposed to do, then I'm all in.
That would be awesome.
That's the connectivity I need.
Voice response tutorials. What the fuck?
To my questions specifically. Yes. That's the next wave. They're taking away the tutorials and going to have to be where you ask the question.
That would be okay.
So I don't have to read the books.
Well, you didn't have to read the books.
That's how
anyway.
it should pop up now. I should be like, how do I do this? And then it's like, read the manual. Fuck you. We have anything else for E3?
I don't think so.
We all tapped out?
Yeah.
I'm just excited for some games to come out.
There's a lot of games coming out.
And they could show me new commercials and all.
Well, if there's any, check out all the trailers because there are some amazing trailers out there. The Resident Evil Raccoon City one is awesome.
Yeah,
The,
that was a little weird of a gameplay, but we'll see what happens.
I will say the Dead Rising 2, the one with the photog guy,
Yeah. Photog.
looks terrible. Like that trailer was terrible. Like it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't funny.
I see.
And I didn't understand what they were trying to do there. But and then did you guys see the new Hitman trailer?
No.
No,
That's
I've never
awesome
been
too.
interested in Hitman, so.
I needed. Yeah.
Regardless, you should check out the trailer because
Okay.
it's really. I mean, even if you're not interested in the game, the trailers. I mean, it doesn't show any gameplay.
Sure.
It's just all CGI stuff.
No, I mean,
but it looks awesome.
that's why I never looked into it, because I think I passed by some stuff.
looks
for
awesome.
Hitman. Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Cool.
All right. Anyway, check out all the trailers.
Yeah.
Especially that Metro one.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
No,
It is so
I'll
well
do that.
done.
Yeah.
Hey, is there anything we didn't talk about that you liked from E3? You can email us. Comments
sure
at
there is.
signedinpodcast.com. Email us and correct us on everything we were wrong about. or that we skipped over that we should have. That was totally hurt you in some way. Like the 8th Street Fighter game that's coming out that we didn't talk about.
Street Fighter versus Tekken.
Comments at signedinpodcast.com. That's our email address. Signedinpodcast.com is our website. You can find all our past episodes on there. Links to our Twitter, our Facebook, all the important things I talk about on Twitter you can follow. Like me talking about hockey. Go Canucks. They're winning the cup tonight. It's done.
It's done?
9 hours from now. I just jinxed it now.
What game is
That's
it?
not happening. It's game 6, but they need to win tonight, and they win.
They do. They will.
That's right. You jinxed that shit for me, too.
I knocked on wood.
Thank you. A link to our forums. I don't remember where it was at. Link to our forums. All of our other pseudo radio shows are there. And that's about it, kids.
Yeah.
Next episode.
I have it. I'm probably completely wrong, but I
Yes.
have it stuck in my head that Retro City Rampage is supposed to come out.
I've never seen a date for it, so that would be awesome.
I'm
if it
pretty
did.
sure I saw a date, and I think it's this summer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's June. So,
Ooh, maybe that'll be coming up then.
but I could be wrong.
I know
could be
Magic the
July
Gathering
instead.
is this next week, so I wouldn't think they'd double up, but maybe they will.
Because Summer of Arcade doesn't start until
July 20th.
July, late July. Okay, so
we got a couple
yeah,
weeks
because I know it's not a part of that.
And also, I don't know when Miss Explosion Man's hitting.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
The
I'm kinda
beta's
bummed.
out. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about. I've been playing the beta,
yeah.
and it's awesome. Spoiler, everybody, it's awesome. There's a lot of funny shit in there. I don't want to ruin for anybody, so I'm not going to say anything about it.
I'm sure the beta will finish out before then.
Yeah, I wonder when it's going to be. I wish if it doesn't hit before Summer of Arcade, it's not going to be till after.
True.
And that
we haven't heard
I wish it
anything
was
about
in
it
Summer
yet.
of Arcade.
Yeah.
That bums me out.
Yeah.
Maybe that should have been in there instead of Fruit Ninja, but hey, what do I know?
Fruit Ninja.
Fruit Ninja probably is much more
Living
important.
up the life.
It's recognizable.
Anyway,
People will be-
I know.
people will see
I
it.
understand the reason, but it's
Yeah.
just still bullshit.
bullshit.
I better watch it. Bill Gates is going to get me off
I
the
know.
show.
He's gonna.
I can't
stop
do this by
releasing
myself
games.
because
Wait, what?
this would be the most
But-
uninformative podcast in the world.
It's all gonna be DLC. It's gonna be like
Real-
weeks of DLC.
Real games that are coming out. Transformers.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Out of nowhere because they're not advertising shit for it,
Yeah,
which worries me. But I guess we'll see. That game's coming out this next week. Child of Eden.
Yes. I'm
Maybe a
hoping
new
to get-
Kinect game we can talk about.
I'm hoping to have some hands on either purchase or reno for sure.
Do you still try Res yet?
No.
Why don't you get on there and try Res?
You try Res.
I own Res.
Oh, never
so
mind then.
F you.
I'll have some Bulletstorm DLC next.
Oh, that's right. Bullet. I didn't even know that
I didn't know
DLC
they were
came
getting
out.
DLC.
Yeah,
And you
it
bought
came
it and
out-
didn't play it yet, right?
Well, no, because I was playing Green Lantern. Did anyone listen to what I said?
No.
Okay.
Nobody listened. And finally, or already, as the case may be, Duke Nukem Forever is coming out this next week. If you can believe
Also
it.
from Gearbox.
We'll see if that happens. It looks like utter shit.
That's
Everything
what
I've seen
heard.
from it looks
Yeah.
like it's a game from 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Duke
that's
Nukem.
I know. And I'm totally going to play it. Because that's what I do, kids.
I'd rather
I
have.
make bad decisions.
I'd rather have my
self-loathing
lingo.
coming through.
I'd rather have my lingo sound like Duke Nukem, but look good in Bulletstorm. You know what I'm saying? That's true. I want my dialogue to be like that,
right.
but
They-
look good.
They did already make Duke Nukem. Didn't they?
Something should catch up.
Yeah.
And if it's not the dialogue, the visual should. Save that hate for next episode. We can share it then.
Yes.
All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Bye. I love that pause.
If you are receiving this transmission, this has been a pseudo radio production. Repeat, this has been a pseudo radio production, copyright 2011.